Hello and welcome to yet another episode of BIM Technologies for Revit MEP. In the previous videos, we have seen how to add air terminals in a building. So now we will learn how to create or add the HVAC ducts in a building space. But before that, we will learn the settings that is required for the ducts and then simple methods of adding ducts and placeholders along with the fittings in a project. So here we have a fresh file that we have opened. We already have the file in which we have created in the early, you can see the project that we were working. So we will add the ducts after learning how to create the ducts in a simple project. So here we have the systems tab and we have a tool called duct over here. Now before that, when you are choosing the duct or the duct placeholder, just we need to understand what is the difference. The duct is basically a rigid, it creates the rigid duct whether it is a round, rectangular or oval, and then the duct placeholder creates the line work. That's a single line diagram which shows the line of the path of the duct along with the fittings, and then later on you can change this duct placeholders to the duct that is a rigid duct. But let's see what are the settings that is required before we go with the adding of duct or duct placeholder, and also we will learn how to add the duct fittings and also how to add the duct accessories. So you have this tool over here for the settings which is called the mechanical settings button. So you choose the mechanical settings button, the dialog box mechanical settings will be displayed. Now here you have one of the option as duct settings. So when you click on the duct settings option here in the right hand side, you can see all the parameters related to the annotation scale, annotation size, air density, viscosity, and the various symbols are there as the parameter. And then you have the angle parameter which has a fitting angle. So if you say fitting angle, use any angle, Revit will use any angle supported to fitting content. So we select this option by default and then we will see what are the other options while we are adding ducts. Conversion is again, it shows that what would be when you're doing an auto routing, what are the various automatic routing options for supply air system classification, return air system classification and exhaust air. Let's take an example of a supply air system classification. The duct type, you can select the duct type that you want. By default it is duct rectangular, flanged, radius or bend or shoe branch. Middle elevation of the duct is 2750. Similarly for the branch, so you have got the main and the branch ducts. For the branch duct it is the duct type, you can select a duct type, you can select the middle elevation, you can have the flex duct that is that you can add while you're adding the duct, and the maximum flex length as 1000 millis. Then you have the sizes over here. So the sizes which is available for duct sizing is basically 75 mm to 1900, or you can see to the 3 meters. If you want to add any size, you can say new size. Let's say I want to add a size of 210. I can add a size and I can use this checkbox to use while we are doing a duct sizing or in the list. Let's say we want to limit the size of the ducts till 300 millis. So you can click the checkbox for the sizing as well as the list and create a list of ducts which is we want to be in the list. So I'm clearing all the checkboxes. Let us keep the other one. So when you're creating the rectangular duct, these sizes which are checked in will be available. Then for the oval it's the same, and for the round it is same. The calculation, so that is a network calculation. When you enable this setting, what will happen, calculation are executed in the background. You can continue working them. This does not require you to establish systems and instead calculates the connected system. If your model includes both design and fabrication part, you should enable these settings to achieve consistent calculation for the fabrication parts. Pressure drop, again, what are the method that you want to use? There are 3 methods of creating the pressure drop calculation method for the duct straight segment pressure drop calculation. Colebrook equation, you have the Halland equation and the Atchell-Sal equation. So these are some of the formulas that is used over here. By default it is Atchell-Sal equation is there. So these are some settings that you do before you start with the duct. Now let's go to the floor plan, zero mech, and we click on the duct tool. So the moment you click on the duct tool, you would see that there are three options. Some of the options like tag on placement is there, you can choose them. Automatically connect, inherit elevation and inherit size. The type that you have right now is rectangular duct. Now here rectangular duct is the family, flange radius bend. So you go with the edit type, you see that here the name of the type is flange radius bend or shoe branch, and the type, the family system is the rectangular duct. So in order to see what are the things that is associated with the flange radius bend and shoe branch, we need to click on the edit button over here corresponding to the routing preferences. You choose it. So here you have the various options that basically you can have, but the first option is the duct size. You can specify the various duct size that you want to have while you are creating the duct. Also for the elbows, you can select what type of elbows you want, because the type is rectangular radius bend. So it is for the junction type of the duct is tap junction, preferred junction, and what is the family that you are taking for the junction. If you want to have a cross, so you can load the family. For the transition, rectangular concentric taper. So these are all the values that you have, that you set while you start adding the type of the duct in your duct layout. Choose OK, choose OK. Now as you click here on the screen, you would see that the duct appears here. So this is the length of the duct. Now the moment, let's say if you need a 5 meter length duct, so you click on the 5 meter duct, and then the moment you change the path of it, you see a bend is created because you have a flange radius bend type, and then you can keep on adding it. So here the middle elevation is 2750, that is the height of the middle of the duct is 2750, and the width is 300 and the height is 300. So you have this particular layout created. Now you see that, go to the 3D view of it, and you can see the duct here, which is created with this is the ductwork that you have. So you can have the zero layer here. Now if you want to create a similar duct, and if you say create similar, and if you can click on this point over here, so you can see that there is a tapping which is created over here, because the type, you can see there is a tap because of the, we have taken that type of the T or the branch would be in the taps, and you have this particular rectangular duct. And for every duct ending, you have this logical connections over there. So you can right click and say draw duct. A duct will be created from this part. If you want to add the middle elevation at a particular height, let's say instead of 2750, you want to have it as 2000, and press enter. Now if you create a duct, now you can see in the 3D view the elevation is lowered over here. And similarly, if you want to create a duct above, you want a vertical duct that you want, so you can click right over here, draw duct, and type the middle elevation as, let's say 4 meters or 5 meters. So there will be a vertical duct that will be created, and you can continue from here. So this is if you want to change the size between, let's say if you want to change the size, duct sizing between this, so you can select it and split the duct over here. The moment you split the duct with the split element tool, you would find that a union is created by default. Now what you can do is, you can select the duct and reduce it so that you can separate it from the union. You can select the union and then delete it, and now you want to change the width of the duct. So if you click the duct over here, so you can change the width of the duct. Let's say you want to change the width of the duct to 250 millis, so the duct will be changed to 250 millis. Now the system type is, you can select the system type of the duct at supply, air or return, and the other things that you have, the flow will be taken from the air terminal that you connect. So that will be something that we will be teaching you later on. So if you now further connect this particular duct with the connector, so drag with the connector and click here, you see a transition is created between the two ducts. So here you can see that the duct is connected with a transition here. So in the 3D view you can see that how the duct is connected with the transition here. So this is where you can create different sizing of the ducts. Now if you want to change the shape of the duct, let's say if you want to have this particular duct in a round shape. Now let's say from here I need a round shaped duct, so I can click right, I can say clear draw duct, and then I can select a round duct from the type. Let's say here, apart from rectangular duct, I am taking a round duct. So what will happen, there will be a shape transition that will be seen over here from rectangular to round. So if you see the 3D view, a round duct will be created from that particular point. So this is something that while you are creating the duct, you should basically understand how to work on it. And then similarly, if you can add these duct as placeholders. Like for example, if you go to the systems and if you say a placeholder, here select the type as you did for the rigid duct, and then you can click the line work here, and you can see that this duct is a placeholder over here and at a particular height. And later on, if you want to change the placeholders into the rigid type, select the placeholder, and then there will be an option of convert the placeholders. You can see that the placeholder is converted. Or if you want to convert the entire placeholder, put your mouse over one of the placeholders and press the tab key, and then all of the ducts are selected, and then you can change the type, or let's say it's a round one, that's fine. And then now click on the tab key, and then you can have the convert placeholders to a round duct. So this is what we can do with the placeholders converting into a rigid duct. So the next is basically we will learn how to add the ducts along with the air terminals. And apart from that, one thing important is how to add the fittings to the duct. So the fittings are there. If you want to, let's say if you want to add another duct over here, you can basically add from a point here. Let's say if you want to cross the ducts over here, so these are all branch ducts that you're having. So if you want to add a branch duct, so if you have this option here, you can see the duct is not branched over here, but what you can do is you can select it, and then what you can do, you can create a T over here. Let's say there's a shoe joint which is a slip joint. If you want to take a T, you can add a T later on. So this is and adding a flex duct. Let's say if you have this flex, convert to flex duct, or you can, if you want to convert this into a flex duct, so it will not be converted, but what you can do is you can add a flex duct directly from the duct, click on the center line, and you can see the flex duct is created from there onwards. So, and this flex duct is basically having a type, and then you can basically move this flex duct as you want. So you have this in the 3D view, you can see the flex duct. You can see in the fine view the flex duct is a single line over here. So what I can do is, if I want to add independent flex duct over here, let's say I want to add a flex duct from this particular point. So systems, I can click on the flex duct, and here I can add the flex duct as I wanted to do. So we will see in the next videos how we add more kind of objects into the actual projects, and how we can add the ducts to the air terminals, and the method of adding them in a project. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and share the videos. And in the next video we will learn how to add the air terminals along with the ducts and the other settings in the ducts. Thank you.